Well, the day has come for us to go get the disc that came with this tractor. When I went and got this tractor, it didn't have any, it was just the tractor itself sitting outside. This little bar was on it. It had a board on the bottom that was rotted off. That was what was hooked up to the tractor. So I brought that home. In a storage building, he had a little 4-foot brush hog and a disc. And it was raining and muddy. And we managed to use the 4-wheeler and get the brush hog. But I didn't want to disc up his yard, because if I use the 4-wheeler to pull the disc and let it roll, it's going to be disking up his yard. Plus, I didn't have room on the trailer. I mean, I might could have made it work because I had the 4-wheeler, the tractor, the brush hog. I don't know that I could have fit the disc. So I left it with the intention of my goal was to get this tractor operating good enough that I could go get that disc. And I think we've reached that stage. We've got a functional cooling system. I'm still not trusting putting pressure on it, at least not for this trip. So we won't do that. We'll leave the cap loose. It's not going to be running long. I don't know if I don't even have the generator wires hooked up. So it's not charging or anything, but the lift is working and it's driving and the cooling system works and it's good enough. So we're going to go get it. The problem is we've had just like a monsoon of rain and I need to get this trailer out of here, and we've had driveway work done on that driveway right there. So you can't drive on it yet, so we're going to have to go out this other driveway. It's going to be a little bit muddy. So the goal is to use the tractor to do that. It's going to make the least mess. The Suburban would just spin. Plus, I can't make that tight turn. I know I can't make that tight turn with the Suburban. I don't know if I can make it with the tractor. We'll see. If I can't, I may have to find some other way to do it. But drawbar came with the tractor. So I've slid the drawbar in. It's got a little pin that holds it. Really nice setup. So we can just slip that in there. I've got a 25-cent 2-inch ball from a garage sale bolted on there, and we're going to go ahead and probably pull this top link out and just set it on the trailer and hook up and pull the trailer out of here. And we shouldn't have any problem. This thing is 4-wheel drive. It's just a cool little tractor. I really like it. It's going to be really handy. I was debating whether to keep it or not, but I think the fact that it's 4-wheel drive, just the fact of being able to shuffle trailers and stuff like that around here, it's still got a lot of work before it can be used for extended periods. We got to come up with the air cleaner setup, and probably need to do some kind of a hood and brakes. There's no brakes on it right now, so we need to do all that stuff. But for now, it's good enough to go get that disc. So I'm going to set up time lapse. Let's go hook up and try to get this trailer out of here, and I'll show y'all how it does. late. Ran into issue with the starter. In a previous video, you saw where I took the starter solenoid apart, and I took it back apart because I told you it didn't feel right. The little arm that engages the Bendix didn't feel quite right, and I messed with it, and then I got it to where it felt like it was engaging and disengaging. Well, it kind of was. I think so. And once again, I was trying to hurry. I ended up having to. What was happening? It would engage the starter, but it would not disengage. So on the Bendix, there's two little tabs that stick out from it, and there's a fork on the starter solenoid that goes in and it hooks into those two tabs, and it does this. It pushes the Bendix in and it pulls it back out when you release the starter. And what was happening was it was behind, that fork was behind the tabs. The fork has some slots in it that fit on those tabs, that slip over those tabs on the Bendix, and it was behind it, so it would kick it in, but it would not pull it back out. And so when I was trying to start it, I could hear it, the Bendix still engaged. So I stopped, pulled the starter off, took it completely apart. I didn't video any of it because I was just in a hurry. I am about 2 hours behind, actually over 2 hours behind on getting over to the guy's house. I'm about 2.5 hours behind. And, you know, he said no problem, but, you know, I had to take this starter completely apart and just, you know, get it all put back together correctly. I pulled it off and took the Bendix off where I could get in there and kind of work the Bendix, and I thought I had it, not taking the starter apart. Put it all back on there, it was doing the same thing. So at that point, I was trying to avoid taking the starter itself apart. I didn't want to open up a can of worms with, you know, with that, because it was working. The starter motor was working, and you know, the bottom side or the top side was pretty rusty, and the end cap was pretty rusty, and I just was kind of scared. But I had no choice, so I ended up taking it apart. And it's all working now, so we're good, and it's working. But like I said, I'm behind, so I'm rushing over. He's about 45 minutes away from me, so I'm gonna be there about 5:30, and I probably won't do much videoing. I'll show you once I got it loaded, but I'm gonna be respectful of his time, and you know, because it's kind of getting late. So I'm gonna get there at 5:30, and hopefully we'll quickly be able to load it up, get it back on the trailer, and go from there. So yeah, I'll show you once I get it loaded up. Made it back last night, and along with it, I got these attachments. I try to figure out how they attach. Thinking maybe they attach to that attachment that has just a bar on it, and I've got some brackets and stuff in a bucket they gave me. Maybe those brackets attach and it attaches some way. Thought maybe they attach to the box blade, but I don't, you know, that maybe there was some kind of a release to get the disc wheels off, and then they attached on there, but I don't see that happening. So I don't know, but there's our little disc. I said box blade, disc. Pretty cool little deal. Tractor did great. Ran great. No issues. I did figure out how to put it in 4-wheel drive, and I did figure out that the 4-wheel drive is working. Actually, I knew how to put it in. I just didn't know which position was engaged for 4-wheel drive. And I was loading it, and I had that disc as high up as it would go. And what happened is the disc hit the driveway, you know, bottomed out on the driveway. And when it did, you know, I went as far as I could, and it lifted the front wheels off the tractor. You know, this was loading it on the ramps. Front wheels were on the ramps, and you know, as it did that, it did that, and That point was touching on the concrete. This was touching on the ramps. These were touching nothing. And so it stopped, you know, the back wheels were spinning. So put it in 4-wheel drive, you know, push the clutch in, push the lever, and front wheels pulled me on up. So 4-wheel drive's working, that's cool. Don't know what else. They gave me some ramps, or not ramps, some chains. No, that's my hammer, but a bucket of chains and saw and a good gas can, another good gas can, and some True Fuel that went with the saw that is probably no good anymore. But we'll give it a sniff test and see. But that's it. So tractor did good, and we've got all the attachments now. So we'll figure out these and a couple little plows. So figure out how that goes, and I may or may not have whatever's needed to use those. I don't know. Maybe something, I may be missing something here for these, but we'll try to figure it out. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.